Hello, Empower community. So, for many of you who were following our social media this past week, you would have seen that Glenn and I spent a week in Abuja in Nigeria. I thought it'd be really helpful to share with you why we were there and what this means for the Empower project. So, for quite a few months now, we've been working with partners in Nigeria to see how we can roll out our solution in a way that makes sense for the Nigerian economy and the needs of the Nigerian market. And we're really excited to say that we've found a really strong partnership and a really interesting way to enter into Nigeria. So in order to really understand what it is that we're working towards, it's important to understand something called a co-op or cooperative, which is a fundamental part of the Nigerian financial system. Because like many countries across Africa, there is a banking sector that underserves this community. Co-ops or cooperatives have become a really fundamental part of the Nigerian ecosystem. And by some estimates, there are over 100,000 different co-ops across the country. Effectively, a co-op is a saving collective. So members will join the co-op, will save each month, and then that co-op will use those funds in order to be able to provide affordable finance for many different use cases. Some might be a co-op to have money to buy stuff for a wedding, or money to be able to purchase staples like rice at a much more affordable price and distribute that to their co-op members. Of course, our focus has been on housing co-ops and ones that provide their members access to more affordable financing for houses. Now, for those who were following our social media, you would see that Empowa sponsored and attended the Housing Cooperative conference last week. This was a conference focused at housing co-ops, so brought many of the housing cooperatives together into one room to discuss a whole bunch of things relating to the industry. And kind of the topic of focus was especially around digitization. So many of these co-ops still operate, with pen and paper, with offline systems. That creates many challenges around keeping accurate records, with being able to, provide their members with timely reports on how their savings have been going, all the usual challenges that come with antiquated offline systems. Now, the Nigerian government is proposing legislation that will force cooperatives to digitize their platforms. And so that is obviously a topic that has become increasingly more interesting. We have the opportunity through our contact, Yemi, who's the president of the Housing Cooperative Collective, so effectively an organization that manages all housing co-ops, to make EmpowaPay the de facto choice for co-ops to use when digitizing their solutions. Now, this is not to say we'll be the only software available to them. Of course, there are competitors, and we welcome that because competition breeds better solutions. But of course, we're looking to be the recommended tool that these co-ops can use. And so we were obviously there to understand more about the needs of those co-ops, to explain to them how EmpowaPay could be a useful solution for what they're looking to achieve, and to present that to the co-ops that attended the conference and get their feedback and hopefully onboard them as customers. The conference went really well. The relationship seems very strong. We have entered into an agreement as ourselves, Empowa, a local financing partner called ProperPay, who will be the local representative of our solution in Nigeria to ensure we have the right regulatory approvals, and this co-op kind of collective that will be overseeing the rollout of the solution across all co-op members in the housing sector. What this means for us as a project is that we will hopefully become the solution that many co-ops across Nigeria use to collect savings from their customers, to record their data on chain, to save towards homes, and be the tool that is used by those co-ops in issuing funding to their members for rent-to-own contracts. The way this will be priced is that a portion of each transaction will flow to Empowa as our revenue, which we will be converting to EMP, creating buy demand for the token on the open market. For that reason, we're exploring listing our token on a centralized exchange in Nigeria, and more details about that will follow soon. Once it's approved, that'll make it much easier for us to convert the Naira into EMP and to start to secure that. We're also exploring how we can already have the members purchase the collateral EMP that the developers would need as part of their savings, and more details about how that process materializes will obviously be updated as soon as it's been finalized. From our perspective, it's really exciting, as it means that now we have a much larger audience of potential clients, tenants on the ground, financing from these collective savings to start to implement projects in Nigeria. That's why in the second half of the week, you may have seen us visit two housing partners, Fullard and TAC. Both of those are partners who've been using the EmpowaPay solution to collect their data up until now. So when you see us quote the number of developers using EmpowaPay, those are two of the partners that have been tracking data for a long time. And now we were able to go see projects that they've either completed to get a sense of the quality of their work before they start their next project, or to see projects that are in construction that we will be playing a role in once they're closer to completion. So we've identified the two first developers. We've identified projects that we can support. We've found strategic partners on the ground that will help us roll out the solution in terms of both finding potential tenants and collecting funding from those tenants. And so we feel excited about what this means for Nigeria, which is a massive market and a massive potential audience for our solution. Nigeria is Africa's largest economy. It's also one of the fastest growing countries, 250 million people, and expectations of that there'll be more Nigerians than Americans by the year 2050. So a young, urbanizing population that's definitely going to need affordable housing. Obviously, a lot of what has been discussed now are agreements that are in place. The rollout of that is going to happen over the coming months, and I'll keep everyone updated about how that goes. But we were obviously really excited to see the launch go so well, to see all interest from the co-ops, to find developers that we have been having a conversation with for many, many months now, to see their work and to see the quality of their work. And videos will be following soon of tours of those sites, so you guys can see the types of homes, the quality of those homes, and to have an audience that's already going to start saving towards their homes and generating demand for EMP. There will also be, for those of you who want to see this all written up as a kind of an overview, this video will be followed with a summary and more details. You can also read through it if you want. And we will be probably doing an AMA in the not too distant future, because there's some exciting news around Mozambique that we'd also want to be able to share. So thank you everyone again for joining our journey. For those of you who were following our trip, liking, sharing all the positive comments, we're really kind of excited for us to see, but exceptionally excited for our partners on the ground to see what our following there is and how much interest there is in what we're doing. I think this year is going to be an exciting year for Empowa, with progress being made in Mozambique, as I mentioned, this launch in Nigeria, and of course the work in Kenya continuing in the background. So again, thank you everyone for joining our journey, for being part of our community, and this is the year that I think we really start to see some meaningful impact on the ground.